I wanted to go over how to um, or how I approach scouting for areas for elk. So using this map, I mean, obviously there's names on here, it's not any secret, but if we go into, well, I guess to start off, I always like to look at or orient the map in the way I would approach the area that I'm hunting. So we come in here and these canyons and creeks run um almost straight north to south, and so that's kind of how I would do it. I'd obviously access it from this road down here and that green line. So one way, so you think about it, and I've heard Randy Newberg talk about this a lot, like, and Trail Kreitzer talk about it a lot. You think about what an elk needs to live, and there's like a couple essential things: bedding, feed, cover, and water. So I kind of look for areas that you can kind of fuse those four together, and it seems like we would have a good indication that this is where elk could be. No, none of us are perfect. None of us know exactly what elk are thinking. We never always know where elk are going to be. We just have to give ourselves a chance to maybe see elk. Find areas that there could be elk. That'll give us a chance to maybe see if there is some there. So, um, first thing, as you look at it, north facing slopes are going to be heavily timbered. And that's usually where elk want to bed up. And so, um, as we look at this, you can see some really good timber stands, but there's also some good open spots. I think that's a key to elk hunting as well, is, you know, there's lots of areas I could point out in the West, lots in Wyoming, in Utah, lots in Colorado, where it's just straight timber. Like, you're just hunting the timber all the time. I don't particularly like that because you don't have the opportunity to, you know, get in these openings where you can see long distances. And there is some topography, but I really like the topography where if we switch this like this. So if I'm in the bottom of this canyon, I can see up here, I can catch glimpses if there's, bulls pushing cows through some of this area. I'm just not a big fan of still hunting timber. Obviously, you have to go where the elk are, but I think there's lots of places like this that you can go and find elk. So that being said, let's dive in. So I kind of take this, I don't even know what you call this, like this area here. You can see there's substantial water. Um, there's a road to access it. There's a trail that kicks off to the right, no trail up it. So I know there's not going to be a ton of recreational hiking. Obviously, it's a public land hunt. There may be some pressure in there, and so that's what you kind of have to look for. So I'm going to dive in and I'm going to say, okay, number one, we have some of these north-facing timber spots. This looks really good. This looks really good. Say, an elk is bedded in this general vicinity. Where's it going to go once it's ready to feed? It's going to go to this hill. It might feed over the top. It might feed down into the bottom. It might get some water. Just kind of have those in the back of your mind. Same with over here. Big stand. My assumption is, a big bull is going to bed near the top of this, but still in the thick timber, so they can have access to bell out the back, or come down, feed, go down to water, skip over another canyon over here. Either way. Kind of the same idea over here. Like, well, let me spin around here. So there's essentially um, three kind of offshoots here. And my assumption is, again, they're going to be higher here, so they have a bailout. I think of bull elk, like a mature bull elk, as a really smart, mature mule deer that's able to, kind of think of escape areas, stuff like that. And so I think bull elk are just as smart as mule deer, especially those early seasons, the 1st of September when we're starting off the rut. They're a little bit more um, hesitant in how they go about things versus, that middle 15th to 20th September where they're just going at it. I think it's easier to hunt during the earlier times. Um, but anyways, I digress. So just keeping that in the back of your mind, like mature bull elk are still very smart animals. It's not like they're always motivated by cows. So we have these thick stands of timber. They could come over this edge to feed. Not likely, just because this is fairly steep. But I've eaten my words a few times on stuff like that as well. So I'm just saying most likely they're feeding out into here, getting water right here. This is the headwaters of that creek. Same thing on this middle one. I could see them bedding here and feeding in here. Um, Having access to water possibly right here. I think this means it's perennial. There's obviously a good pond here, which I've marked already. And then kind of same idea right here. Um, Kind of looking at the topography of this, I could see there is some water in here. Another deep dive you can do is kind of looking at different layers of the time of year to kind of know if there's going to be water in a certain spot. So Google Earth, you can go back multiple years and multiple different dates of when satellite images were taken. And if it's like, oh, this was here in June, well, but it wasn't here in August, so it probably won't be there in August. But um, yeah, so I mean, potential wallow area right there. But that's kind of what I'm looking at. And then last thing is just kind of thinking about pressure. So, um, you know, most guys are going to want to get up in this creek drainage right here or right here where this trail starts. I'm thinking, okay, if I see a bunch of hunters going up this, I'm going up this way to kind of catch the pressure, or the elk that are coming over this way, or I'm going up this canyon to catch the elk that are getting pressured down this way into this little closed off canyon. So just a few things to think about. Again, always do your research and yeah, just do your best to kind of look for features that are elky. Give yourself the chance to possibly see elk, and if there isn't elk there, move on to the next one.